потврда за нашата посветеност на европскиот пат и за улогата што Северна Македонија има како конструктивен и проактивен партнер во регионалната соработка и стабилност. Со нас денес е господинот Христијан Мицковски, председател на владата на Република Северна Македонија, и госпогата Марта Кос, комесар за проширување на Европската Унија. Во продолжение ќе следуваат нивните изјави, пошто ќе имате можност да поставувате и прашања. На почетокот му давам зборот на председателот на владата Христијан Мицковски. Повелете, председател.
Овака, сега се слушаме, нели? Почитувана господја Марта Кос, почитувани новинари, почитувани пријатели, денес сме тука во Скопје не само како домакини, туку и како партнери и сојузници на една заедничка визија, визија за регион што не се дефинира преку своите проблеми, туку преку своите можности. Визијата за Западен Балкан, кој се приближува кон Европската Унија, не со зборови, туку со дела, со реформи, со резултати, со интеграција што се чувствува во секојдневниот живот на граѓаните. Фактот што сме домакини на овој лидерски самит е важна символична потврда за нашата регионална и европска релевантност. Тоа не е случајност. Тоа е резултат на политичкиот капитал кој го вложивме во стабилноста, реформите и конструктивниот пристап. Ова е признание за улогата што нашата држава ја има во градењето мостови и создавањето решенија. На денешните разговори се фокусиравме на реализација на планот за раст на ЕУ за Западен Балкан, кој представува историска шанса за сите нас. Тоа е механизам кој ни овозможува не само пристап до инвестиции и фондови, туку и мотивирачка рамка за напредување на владењето на правото, ефикасноста на институциите и економската конкурентност. За нас овој план не е формалност, тоа е алатка преку која ќе ја трансформираме земјата, ќе ги модернизираме јавните услуги, унапредиме образованието, ќе инвестираме во енергетска и дигитална инфраструктура, ќе ја направиме татковината вистински европски дома, пред да стане формално дел од ЕУ. Но исто така сакам да бидам јасен дека нашите чекори по европскиот пат се со отворено срце и разум, со прифаќање на европските вредности. Меѓутоа се противиме на уцените кои не се дел од тие вредности. Не прифаќаме наметнување под маска на европскиот процес. Европа е дом на правото, на правдата, на достоинството. Тоа се вредностите што ги прифаќаме. Се друго е туѓо за Европската Унија и туѓо за нас. Почитувана комесарка Кос, на овој самит нашата држава влегува како држава со јасна насока. Нашите реформи не се декорација, тие се потреба. И ние нема да чекаме некој да не турка. Ке се движиме самите со собствена волја, со конкретен план и со јасна визија. Испорачуваме резултати не затоа што тоа некој го бара од нас, туку затоа што тоа го заслужуваат нашите граѓани. Ке продолжиме да ги следиме европските вредности не затоа што тоа ни го наложува некој, туку затоа што тоа е нашиот избор и веруваме во тоа. Нашиот пат, нашата определба. И затоа благодарни сме за поддршката од Европската комисија, но уште повеќе сме решени сами да си помогнеме да ги спроведеме реформите и да ја трансформираме земјата. Со инвестирање, со работа, со доверба во собствени сили и со партнерство со ЕУ. Ви благодарам за вашата лична поддршка и поддршката на Европската Унија што дава за Западен Балкан.
Благодариме на премиерот. Сега збор ќе има комесарката за проширување на Европската Унија, госпогата Марта Кос. The floor is yours.
Mr. Prime Minister, there is still advantage that I grew up in our ex-common state, so I could understand you without a translation. Not every word, but I'm happy to hear the commitment of you as a Prime Minister of North Macedonia for your transformation, for the reforms, which I agree, they are not only decoration, but they are a tool how to become a member of the EU. So thank you for this, and thank you for hosting this important meeting here in Skopje, and I'm happy to be here for the first time as Commissioner. Before I go to the growth plan, I know that your country is still recovering from a national tragedy and the terrible fire in Kočani. I would like to send my condolences to the families and the loved ones of the victims and to the many injured. Tragedies like Kočani remind us of what is the most important in life. And this is family, friends, communities, and this is people who are helping, and this is solidarity in the European Union and from the European Union towards our candidate countries. And I'm glad to know that so many other Europeans were by your side and helped in past month. And I'm happy that also we agreed that when I will come to a bilateral visit soon to North Macedonia, we will together visit the injured people in Kočani. Today we met here almost a year for the growth plan leaders meeting to acknowledge the work done and agree on clear steps on how the growth plan will be further reinforced and how the EU accession will hence be accelerated. At the meeting, I passed a clear message: use this window of opportunity. The geopolitics has changed, and we are seeing a real commitment for enlargement in the capitals of the EU, and to build a strong Europe that takes control of its own future, we need all Europeans to work together, also with the countries from the Western Balkans. The growth plan brings tangible socio-economic benefits to citizens of North Macedonia and the other Western Balkans countries before accession, as also stated in the leaders' joint statement of today. Thus, it is your responsibility to implement it for the benefits of your citizens and businesses, and of course the European Union will help. The growth plan is also an essential part of, we call it, graduate or accelerated integration, where the Commission plans to integrate the region into the single market as well as in the EU's policies on defence, security and preparedness before membership of the EU. At the last Leaders' Summit, we talked about our plans. Now we have entered the implementation phase, so this Growth Plan Summit was for the first time about the implementation. We are proud to already show the first result. 75% of the agreed reforms, generally for all the countries, are either implemented or ongoing. However, 1/4 are still not there, and I encourage the leaders to intensify engagement on further implementation. And let me speak about the concrete results we can see. Take SEPA. It makes payments much easier, so it is about the European payment area. In simple terms, it means that a young entrepreneur, for instance, in Skopje or in Tirana, can receive payments from across Europe as easily as the businesses in Vienna or Madrid. 4 countries from the Western Balkans are on the way. Or take the green lines. We agreed on 11 priority crossing points, and I'm very happy to hear from the leaders that they are fully committed to taking this project forward. We will soon also use the EU's Galileo satellite to track lorries and understand the dynamics at the bottlenecks better. How long, for instance, are the lines? When do they form? Once the green lanes are fully implemented, they will cut border waiting times from 50 to 70%. And this makes a huge difference for businesses and the citizens. And this is why I called on leaders to make progress on this a priority, and they agreed. And more is coming within the framework of the single market highway, which we are now extending to the Western Balkans. What does it mean? We are working with you to identify European supply chains into which your companies will be able to integrate. For example, in pharmaceuticals, we will help you align with our standards so your businesses can be treated equal to those of the member states. And the projects under the Western Balkans investment framework will help you, the countries, build roads and train lines, and they will finance wind and solar parks, and they will help put in place the digital infrastructure to step up the competitiveness of your economies. We were also speaking about the better connections. Congratulations to you, dear Mr. Prime Minister, for the agreement with Bulgaria to work on the Corridor 8. This corridor is important not only for North Macedonia and Bulgaria, it's important for the whole region, it is important for the EU, and especially it is important because it will be an important part in the new Black Sea strategy we just adopted at the level of the European Commission, meaning that we will connect the European Union with a Central Asian state, and North Macedonia plays an important role in this. We were also talking about roaming. If we really will work hard, and I understand you leaders are willing to do this, meaning a lot of reforms, changing the legislative process, the legislation, we could have roaming for free for Western Balkan countries from January the 1st, 26. I have found out that we are both very competitive, dear Mr. Prime Minister, and I'm sure that North Macedonia will deliver. And this is huge. It means a lot if your people or people from the European Union will be able to communicate on the phone without additional charges. I think that we can achieve so much together, and together with my team and together with the European delegation here in Skopje. Thank you for all your support, Mr. Ambassador. I'm fully committed to supporting our partners in their endeavors, and it will be crucial that the leaders steer this process politically and also communicate publicly about our common success. Later this month, we will make the disbursements for the first reporting round of the reform agendas. The full amounts will follow once all the reforms are in place and fully implemented. The next reporting round will end in 2 weeks, so we will access those reports as quickly as possible so we can disperse more funding in autumn if conditions are fulfilled. And this is why it is such a good initiative by the leaders to hold these regular meetings, and I'm looking forward to the next leaders' meeting in autumn. Mr. Edi Rama, Prime Minister of Albania, has offered to organize the next meeting there, and I'm looking forward to this. So thank you again, dear Mr. Prime Minister, for your warm hospitality in Skopje. I think this has been a good day to all of us. It was already yesterday with an excellent dinner you have organized for us. So thank you for you personally and North Macedonia contributing to better connectivity of all the countries from the Western Balkans. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Благодарност до двајцата говорници. Сега ќе отстапам прашања за новинарите. Доколку имате прашања, први би ве замолила да
Have a question, please identify who you are addressing. Lepa Jundeva, TV24. I have a question to the Euro Commissioner. What guarantees can you give the Macedonian government that Bulgaria will not turn the process into a bilateral issue in future? And is the statement of the Bulgarian Prime Minister for you sufficient with a conditional guarantee that it will not happen? What can you offer in this regard?
Our political objective is to open accession negotiations with North Macedonia on Cluster 1 fundamentals as soon as possible, meaning once North Macedonia has met the relevant criteria agreed by the Council, meaning it has implemented its commitment to complete the constitutional changes, and this is well known. On the side of the Commission, we continue to emphasize the importance of the constructive dialogue between North Macedonia and Bulgaria to build a spirit of mutual trust and understanding. And I think that it is very much important, and today's meeting is showing that it is an imperative to advance North Macedonia on its accession path, especially as some other countries are advancing in the region very good to finalize accession negotiations. We all recognize that this is not an easy part, but the window is open now for the enlargement, and we all should use this window of opportunity, and we all should contribute, not only the two countries, but also the European Union, to come to the way which will enable for North Macedonia to start as soon as possible. The best guarantee for this process is delivering.
Thank you very much. Drugi prašanja?
Any other questions? Yes, please. My question is for the Euro Commissioner Kos. There are various opinions among the European representatives that have paid visits to North Macedonia as the European Council President, Representative Kallas and yourself, for the opening of that Macedonia needs to implement the constitutional changes to open the negotiations. But Sofia says this is not enough. They insist on implementing the second protocol, which have nothing to do with the reform. And your comments on the Bulgarian amendments regarding the reports on Macedonia, where they insist on modern Macedonian nation and language.
For the European Commission, the situation is clear. If North Macedonia will fulfill and change the constitution, which is not easy, I am completely aware of this, then we should start immediately within intergovernmental conference without any further political decisions and conditions. Regarding the second part of your question, EU membership is, in my opinion, the best way to protect the identity, culture, and language of Macedonians, because EU is built on diversity, and EU is taking care of all the member states in the sense that our identity is well preserved. I can speak out of my own experiences. Slovenia is also a small country with 2 million people. But since we are a member of the EU since 2004, Slovenian language is one of the 24 official languages of the EU. We have asked ourselves the same question in 2004, and since Moldova is also a candidate country and in my portfolio, we are helping in Moldova, countering the Russian narrative which claims that they will lose their identity. Identity can never be, in my opinion, a question of political decisions. Identity is something we carry in our soul and in our hearts. Identity is how we feel about our own country. Identity is how we take care about our traditions, like monasteries here in North Macedonia, like Pogača, Tauče Gravče, Pinjor, ili polneti pipeti, ili punjene paprike, how we would say in Slovenia. It is how we look on the traditional dresses. It is what kind of relation we have to the elderly people in the country. It is what kind of relation we have to preserving our language. And this is somebody which nobody can take from Macedonians.
Poveli Milka.
From Al Jazeera Balkans, and I have a question for you, Commissioner Kos. Bosnia and Herzegovina is not using available funds due to unfulfilled reforms. What should Bosnian leaders do to make progress in implementing reforms?
Thank you for this, because I have good news. And the good news are that on Friday we got a message from Bosnia and Herzegovina that the Council of the Ministers has adopted the reform agenda. So the first condition is that we have the reform agenda, and I expect that we will get official note from Sarajevo during the next days. When the Commission will adopt the reform, confirm the reform agenda, when they will then sign 2 agreements, loan and facility, then we can start work on this. I can't tell you how happy I am that after 1 year of working on this, Bosnia and Herzegovina has joined the other 5 countries. I can tell, congratulations, North Macedonia has been the first to present the reform agenda. So now we have all 6 countries from Western Balkans having this reform agenda. Timing is very important. Why? The money, the 6 billion we are using in the growth plan facility for all the Western Balkan country is there until the end of 27. And if we will not use this, if the countries will not be able to absorb this, I will have to give this money back to the general budget of the European Union. I think there is much, much better way that the countries are delivering the reforms and that we will give the money rather to the candidate countries and not back to the European budget, even if I'm a part of the European Union taking care about this budget. But really, I want every last euro to be spent in the candidate countries.
Fatlume.
Thank you, Fatlume Dervishi from Alsat TV. Prime Minister, the question is for you. 3 ministries are beyond the key reforms of the reform agenda. How did you justify this to Ms. Kos? I wouldn't say that 3 ministries are being delayed with the key reforms. So we are exceeding the average of 75% by some number of percentages with the processes that are in Parliament, and very soon today it will be completed and those obligations undertaken by the growth plan will be met. Channel 5, you may take the floor. Yes, Yana Josifovska, Channel 5 TV. Prime Minister, this question is to you as well. The report on Macedonia was mentioned in the European Parliament and the plenary session was scheduled for July 8th. We can say that there have been some tensions and heated rhetorics between both parties with the Bulgarian Euro MPs, and in this context what we are currently doing with the diplomatic offensive regarding the disputed amendments previously mentioned, and how do you comment the criticism that was expressed by the rapporteur Weitz? When it comes to the version of the report that is in front of the EU MPs, I can say that I'm expecting all sorts of engineering. I wouldn't be surprised by anything. I am a bit more cautious when it comes to the identity, always. Yes, it is true that we do carry it with us, deep inside of us, but I have to admit that in the last more than 3 decades we have lost a lot of our identity by changing the flag and changing the constitution on several occasions, and in conditions where we have no guarantees that this is going to be the last identity concession we supposed to make, I would be much more cautious, because I am led by the credo, don't you listen to what they're saying, but see what they're doing and what they've done and are still doing. Some of the MPs in the European Parliament have nothing to do with EU values. For me, my identity is not just the wonderful Macedonian cuisine, but also Goce Delchev, Shapkarev, Miladinov brothers, Ilinden Uprising, Damian Gruev, Janez Sandansky, and so on and so forth. I don't know if the colleagues from the East are going to share the same view, but these are the people who are part of our Macedonian identity.
If you have no more questions, I thank you all. I thank you for the press conference.